Hello. I want to let you in on a little secret that most business gurus out there self-promoting on the internet will not explain to you about your construction business. Every business has this sweet spot, if you will, a place where we profit the most we want to profit, we do the work we want to do, and it's really the spot where our business can grow, have value, or at least suffice the way we want it to, and provide for our lives, for our families. And there's only 3 metrics to get you there, and that's really the secret that I want to explain to you right now. The 3 metrics I'm talking about: volume, margin, and what I like to call specialization. Okay, so what I want to do is take these 3 metrics and just kind of show you here how they interact with each other and how we can find that sweet spot where our business is everything we want it to be. If we start with our margins versus volume ratio, on our graph here, if you really want to get really super high margins, you're going to do a pretty low volume of work. And in turn, if you want to try to up your volume, most of the time you've got to lower your margins. So we end up getting this downward facing arc here, where if we want high margins, we've got low volume. And as we move up the scale of volume, our margins have to come down. So we can also do this as a function of margin versus specialization. If we want to get high margins here, we can't be very specialized. We get an exact opposite ratio here. So if we want to get very high specialized, we can usually charge higher margins for this. So then we get an upward facing arc here. Okay, this is our margin to specialization ratio. Now, for the sake of just showing you all how they all interact with each other, we've got a specialization to volume ratio as well. If you're highly specialized, you're also going to do a pretty low volume, okay? The lower you go in your specialization scale, if you're just doing generic work, you can do a lot of volume that way, okay? So therefore, we get this downward facing arc again, the specialization to volume ratio. More volume, less specialization, okay? So now what I want to show you how these interact with each other when we overlap them, especially the top 2 here. The margin versus volume versus the margin versus specialization. So our margin versus volume arc is here, and then our margin versus specialization arc is here. Okay, so margin is on this axis here. We've got volume and specialization down here. We've overlapped all these. So what we've done is created a very small supply and demand chart. But we're using margin, volume, and specialization as our 3 key metrics. But what we're getting at is this area right here. This is the box. This is your growth box. It's your profit box. It's everything you want. It's where our margins are high enough we make the money we want, where our volume is high enough that we can have the growth we want, and it's where our specialization is high enough to where we don't deal with tire kickers on a daily basis looking for just cheap, budgetary, generic work, okay? This box in here is where we really want to get our construction companies to, so that we can really provide for our families, we can grow if we want to, or we can just stay put if we want to. A lot of small businesses out there really are happy in the position they're in. And that's awesome. That's what we want. We understand that everyone has different goals for their company. It's not all about pure growth, okay? Sometimes it's just about getting the margins into a spot where we're very comfortable doing the work we're doing and making the money we want. So that's what we're really shooting for here. We're shooting for this target box where our margins, volume, and specialization all coincide and cross over, and it's just a perfect sweet spot where companies can prosper and actually have value if we want to leave them to someone or if we want to sell them in the future. Okay? If you have any questions about how to get your company into this box, feel free to reach out, like our page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Any way you want to contact me, we'll be available. Appreciate you watching. Hope this helps.